Okay, let's unpack this. We are looking at an episode titled Brother and Sister.
And honestly, that title is doing a staggering amount of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But this episode, this is where the show just stops being about wine tasting and it starts being more of a psychological thriller.
Totally. About two incredibly broken families kind of looking in a mirror at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's heavy, it's funny, and it's just got everything.
So let's unpack it.
Okay, so let's start right where we left off.
Yep.
It's the morning after that disastrous dinner at the restaurant.
Yeah. Camille is just spiraling.
Right.
And she just cannot process that Davit wants to pave it over.
Yeah, for a resort.
She drops this amazing line. She says, "You do not burn the Mona Lisa."
Right. But she knows him, and she knows the history that Camille is completely ignoring. And this is where we get that backstory revealed.
Right.
Their grandfather was so happy to finally have a granddaughter that he wanted to name that year's vintage after her. And Davit, who was just a kid, was consumed by jealousy. So he did something unthinkable. He urinated in the kefri.
That is so visceral.
And she frames the story as proof that he was a bad seed.
But then we get a little twist in this backstory.
We do. The niece the wine was named after. It turns out she has been keeping a secret. When she moved to the city, she actually reached out to Davit. They became close. So she's been bridging this gap between the warring siblings without her mother even knowing.
Absolutely.
Which leads us right to the hug. Issei, who is always so composed, just quietly admits he hasn't spoken to his mother in 3 years.
And then goes deeper. He says she never hugged him, not even as a kid.
Imagine saying that out loud to a stranger.
Right.
She asks him so gently, "Can I hug you?"
And she does. And he lets her.
And it connects to the bigger thesis of the show, right? We're seeing found family providing the comfort that biological family refused to give.
Right. No way he picks up that phone later without that hug.
Not a chance. And then whiplash, the phone rings. It's Davit. He wants a meeting.
Yep.
So they get in the car, and then they arrive at a golf course.
A private golf course in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Davit is miserable. He's yelling at this expensive UK coach because he can't hit the ball straight.
It's such pure insecurity. He thinks he can just buy a good golf swing. So he turns to Issei.
Right.
Issei steps up. His form is perfect. The ball just sails. It's a beautiful shot. And it turns out our guy was the 2015 Asian Diamond Cup champion.
I love that reveal.
And that gets them the dinner invitation.
Right. Okay. They show up
Mm.
and it is a rager. Loud music, champagne everywhere.
It's total chaos. And in the middle of it all, they meet Maka. She's the woman Davit is trying to impress. She holds the keys to the casino permit he wants.
And luckily, our duo came prepared. They brought wine, specifically a bottle of Chateau d'Yquem. And while all this is happening, Thomas, Camille's partner, is blowing up her phone from France.
Right. He's frantic about the competition, and Camille just blows him off. She's completely checked out of her old life. The priorities have fully shifted from winning to healing.
Right.
But back at the party, everyone goes outside to watch a shooting star.
But then they open the Chateau d'Yquem. Maka takes a sip, and she gets emotional. She says her father always considered it the best wine in the world, but he never drank it. And she says, "I've done it for him." And did you notice Davit's face?
Yes. He looks confused. Like he's watching them have this genuine transcendent experience, and he's on the outside looking in, but he cannot connect with people the way Issei and Camille can through wine.
So the party winds down. Davit invites them to stay. They get to their room, and what do they find?
Of course. The classic one-bed trope.
I laughed out loud. It's such a cliche, but the show handles it so differently.
They do. Instead of playing it for romance, they play it for deep sibling bonding. They have to share the room. Issei needs the lights on because he's afraid of the dark, which we'll get to. And they start talking about the shooting star.
Issei asks Camille what she wished for. She says she couldn't think of anything specific. But Issei, he was specific. He says, "I wish to no longer be afraid of the dark."
And that vulnerability invites Camille to be honest. She admits she did make a wish. She wished that their father, Alexandre, would just go away. They aren't rivals in that bed. They are just brother and sister trying to survive the ghost of their father.
But then Issei does something unexpected. While Camille sleeps, he steps out into the hallway and he makes a phone call to his mother, Honoka.
This scene is just masterful. The tension is palpable. He says, "Dad told me you were worried about me. Thank you. I am well. I made it."
And on the other end of the line, nothing. Just absolute dead silence. She doesn't say a word.
Not a word. Issei waits, and then he just says, "Okay, then have a good day," and hangs up.
Wow.
I think it just confirms everything Issei fears, that she is incapable of giving him what he
Right.
needs. But, and this is important, Issei didn't make that call for her. He made it for himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So next morning, breakfast, we get that funny bit with Davit trying to learn how to taste wine, refusing to spit.
But the comedy fades fast, and then he looks at Issei and asks, "So are you two not together?"
He assumed they were a couple because he put them in the one-bedroom suite. He cannot believe it. But then she gives this incredible speech about Alexandre calling him a twisted, sick man.
Right.
And then he admits his mother died giving birth to him, and his family blamed him. He wants to burn everything down to hurt the memory of his father.
And Issei counters with his own trauma. "In my mother's eyes, every time she looks at me, she sees him."
They realize they're all looking in a mirror.
That's the future for Camille and Issei if they let the hate consume them.
Exactly. And then they share a toast to our dysfunctional families.
Camille realizes they have to get them into a room to sort this shit out.
So then he goes to Tamar and offers a trade. He says, I will face my fear if you face yours.
He offers to go into the dark, his greatest phobia, if she'll agree to face her brother.
Right. She takes him to this cave, the same one she conquered at 12. It is pitch black.
Right.
She offers him a candle, matches.
And he refuses them.
He refuses. He just stands there at the mouth of the abyss. And the episode ends on this shot of Issei alone, breathing heavy in absolute darkness.
It's such a powerful ending.
So what does it all mean?
I think this is where they stop just reacting to Alexandre's legacy and start trying to actively heal from it. They see the warning signs in Davit and Tamar, and Issei decides to act.
And the big question for next time is, will he survive the cave? And is this where the moon vision finally cracks open?
I have a feeling the dark is exactly what he needs to see the light. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and then subscribe to Off Script. We don't want you to miss what happens next.
My advice for the week, keep your wishes specific and maybe call your mother.
See you in the next one.